Hello there, YouTube. Once again, they go. Time flies again. We're going to tie the Coyote Critter today. This is something I just thought of the other day, sitting around, and it's all coyote fur and bead chain eyes and a little bit of copper flashabou. This is the finished fly, and we're going to get going, and we're going to tie one. So here we go. I've cheated a little bit and already started the eyes on a hook. The hook we're using is a 3407 DT. It's a Duratin hook, and with the Duratins I find I need to sharpen them. Now when they're tinned like this and you sharpen them, you get a Sharpie or a marker of some kind. If you take and hit this marker wherever the file's touched, it won't corrode quite as quick. This is an old mate trick I learned sailfishing a long time ago. And there you go. Now that hook will be good. And until that black is gone, it will not corrode. You can see pretty good now that I've colored all that point black. So that'll just help with the durability, longevity of the hook. And these are a set of large bead chain eyes that I've already tied on here and cut. The color is gold. And the first thing I do when I get a packet of eyes like this is I like to go ahead and just cut them all. So I have a set of eyes, and I don't have to worry about finding side cutters to do all that kind of stuff while I'm in the middle of tying. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of copper flash here at the tail. And this is just some old copper flashabou I've had forever. It's kind of all beat up and twisted, and that's okay. And I'm just going to tie that up. We're going to tie that right on in here. And I have a little more than I'm going to need. It's coming all the way back here. There we go, start to come undone. Lost one there, that's fine. Don't need a whole lot. That'll be about right. And now we're going to tie in our tail, which again is coyote fur. And I have two different tufts of coyote fur here I'm going to be using. This one is for the tail. It's a little darker in color. This one has more gray in it. I like this for the tail, and I don't like to have that much gray in my body because I think where we're fishing here in Texas, it gets down to grass and the fish lose it. So I don't like that as much. So for the tail, though, it's okay because I'm going to be using primarily these lighter little bit of it anyway. You can see it's starting to get real dark here where it enters my fingers. And I'm going to do this just about a hook shank and a half length for the tail. So I've got that measured. I'm going to go ahead and snip it and tie that in. Make one loose wrap, another kind of loose wrap. Then if you have two loose wraps over it, you can kind of take and move it around on the hook. And I just kind of come straight down over the hook with it, and that tends to cover both sides of the hook real well. Don't end up with a tail that looks good on the side closest to you, and then there's bare hook shank on the other side as much. So you can always just rotate it just to check it. That looks fine. I'm going to tie that up. Okay. Now I'm going to make a dubbing loop. The thread I'm using is tan Flymaster Plus. I tend to tie almost all my saltwater flies with Flymaster Plus these days. It's a good strong thread. It can take a lot of abuse. It can take brushing it up against where I've sharpened there once or twice before it just snaps. It is pre-waxed, but I go on ahead and wax it. Never hurts. Anytime I'm doing dubbing loop, I always add a little extra wax. Okay, now this is the tuft I'm using to make the body with. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a nice little tuft here and give it a snip. And then as soon as I do this, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull out all these long fibers that I like using for antenna. These are beautiful for shrimp antenna, not needed on this fly though. So we'll go from here. I'm going to lay it on a table, and actually I'm going to spread it apart a little bit. You can kind of see I'm pulling it apart If you lay it on a table, it makes that process a lot easier. And then, for just a little added something, I'm going to cut some strands of this flashabou, probably about a dozen strands or so, and I'm going to lay it on top of that fur that I had spread out on a table. Eventually I'll do a video where I'll show this part of it, pull the camera down and do all that, or try to find an assistant maybe. What do y'all think about that? Getting an assistant to assist me with my fly tying stuff. But you can kind of see here, I've got it it's hard to see in the video, but I do kind of have it spread along here, trying to orient it the same direction the strands of the coyote are going naturally. And I'm going to kind of spread this out a little bit once it's in my loop here. And now we're going to spin this guy up. If you notice there, when I'm doing this, I'll take my index finger, which is in front of dubbing loop tool. It's hard to see because of all the fur in the way now. But I'll press up with it as I'm starting to initially spin it. And what that does, it doesn't allow the material to spin nearly as much until I release my finger there. So it helps aid in keeping the material inside the loop until you're ready for it to be spun completely. If you just put your material in there and start letting it rip on the spinning part, you usually end up losing a fair bit of material. It comes out once you do this step where I'm picking it out. So it helps that a lot, I found. And I'm just picking this out. Okay, that was good. Now the first couple of wraps I'm going to do, I usually spin the hook in my vise just until it gets to where I have the thread part of the dubbing loop is right up next to the hook there, and I tend to wrap it back. Now once my material is at my hook, like it is now, I'm going to go on ahead and just wrap right over itself, and I'm pulling this back as I'm wrapping forward towards the eye of the hook, leaving a little bit of space there between wraps. You don't have to have it right up next to each other. It doesn't have to be a super, super bushy fly. It'll be bushy enough because of the dubbing loop. But the biggest thing here is just making sure you pull back as you wrap. Okay, now I'm at the end of my loop there with material in it, so now I'm going to make my 4 wraps of thread over this in front of the eyes. Why 4, you say? I do 4 because if you do less than 4, I've found that this part that I'm getting ready to cut here has a tendency to suck back into the eyeballs, forcing you to lose your whole loop because it just comes out where you tied it in. So just do at least 4. You can do 5 or 6. Now I'm just cleaning up the head there. And then we're going to whip finish. We're almost done. Another easy fly. I like easy. Easy is good. There we go. Whip done. I already see one. I need to trim there. There's another. Okay. Now, I'm going to pick this out with my whip finisher again, just to point the end of it. And now you'll really be able to see that copper flash come out in the body itself. It might be too long initially. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's kind of like your cast. We're working on the back part of it right now. I don't care what it looks like in the front. I only care what it looks like right here, right now. We're going to pretty this fly up, so don't worry about that. Okay. Have it pretty well good and picked out now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch along the top here. I'm going to lay my scissors on top of the eyeballs and give it a snip. What that does is that gives you a nice little flat back there, and that's going to make that fly land softer in the water. So it's good to do it like this instead of how people would traditionally do this, would be just like a wing on a bonefish fly, where they would take this coyote fur, cut it off, and just tie it in right up here, right like that. If you put it in a dubbing loop and wrap it around, that allows you to get this nice soft body on the top side up here, to where when it hits the water, hopefully that absorbs some of the impact, so it's not doesn't affect the fish as much. You can land the fly closer to the fish, which is always better. And there it is, my Coyote Critter. I'm thinking this is could be like a little shrimp tune. Could also be a little goby pattern, mud minnow type looking thing. Whatever it is, they're going to eat the tar out of it. So, hope you all like it, and good luck to you out there.